Before we start this episode of Krypton Report, I want to take a moment and just give a shout out here to our Patreon. I know what you're thinking. Gosh, everyone's asking for money, and I get it. But our Patreon is only $1. $1 a month that helps us keep the podcast going. And what we do is we try to find interesting shows and topics and whatever we want to talk about. We've done, as of this little thing, our last recordings were on the Scream series. Brian and Tyler, that's me, do our own show where we record in the car, and it's kind of funny. And we talk about pop culture or whatever is going on. We also have the Supernatural podcast we've been reworking. It's taken some time just because of life. But we do movie commentaries as well. It's something that James and I have done, what we used to do on the main show that we've started doing here. So for $1 a month on our Patreon, you can get those shows. There's at least 4 a month. Also, there's my movie pitch show that I do. But also, what we want is if you're a Patreon, you can come on. You can come on the main show if you want. Or if there's something you want to come on and talk about, we can do it as a Patreon special. So all I want is for $1 a month, think about chipping in, joining our Patreon, and you have a voice to be a part of things. Follow the link in the link tree or in the show notes below, patreon.com/KryptonReport.
Because it's all about family! Shazam! Hey everybody, it's the Patrick Clan. We just got out. We're all rocking our Shazam gear from seeing Shazam Fury of the Gods. Sayla, you're wearing Shazam socks. And you're wearing your... Sayla's rocking her Flash shirt. She was standing up, shirt exposed during the trailer for The Flash. So proud, so proud. Oh yeah, when the scene when they were all walking, they're like, Shazam, Sayla was like, booyah, I'm Shazamming it. So, just real quick, what'd you guys think about the movie? Sayla, what'd you think? Oh, a one-word answer from the soon-to-be 6-year-old. As
5-year-old!
But you're about to be 6. Solomon, what'd you think of the movie?
It was really good. It had some good textures in it. My favorite part was when she was reading
Oh, the letter?
Yeah.
The letter that they said.
and I also, the one where the girl said the bad word while she was riding the unicorn.
And the unicorn neighs the last part. What about you, Sayla? What was your favorite part?
I got 2.
We'll talk, baby.
The unicorn and the jam part.
Yeah.
And I also love the part where they were he was like letter, and I was like, don't write that. But also I like the part where like, why does 2 of our kids have a crush on older women?
All right, Jania, what was your favorite part, or what did you think of the movie?
Okay, first off, better than the first one, in my personal opinion. I really enjoyed it, which is really, really freaking weird for a sequel, right?
Yeah.
But I loved it. It was a lot of fun, like just seeing Billy like come into his family. So probably, me being the sentimental mother I am, one of my favorite parts was actually when, spoiler, he calls her mom. Yeah, definitely shed a tear there. Let's see here. I also, it's not a part, but I really, really love the dynamic of Anne and the fact that she actually has, like, feelings toward, Freddy, yes.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's adorable, and I was really afraid that it was just going to be something crappy. You know what I mean?
Yes. Freddy got a lot of play in this movie.
Yeah, he did. Good for Freddy. I love his character. He's one of my favorite characters.
I agree.
He reminds me of somebody I married.
Somebody you married. Wait, that's me! Yes. But I think Freddy's also a lot like Solomon, too. But can we just say how the kids both forgot that the S in Shazam stands for Wisdom of Solomon? So when they would say Solomon in the movie, like, Solomon would get really excited. Mm-hmm. So we really like the movie. I'll probably do my ranking here later where it falls in the DC canon, but it's going to be up there. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Jania, out of 10, what do you give it?
Ooh, a good solid 8.5.
Ooh. Sayla, out of 10, what do you give it? Long pause, huh?
100.
100, okay. I like the enthusiasm. Solomon, what do you rank it?
I'll give it a 9.5.
I'm going to split the difference and go with a 9. I really enjoyed it. I think the heart's there and everything, and
I love it.
it was totally...
I feel like the biggest thing that we were missing was, and I'll be honest, like, and I don't know all of the legal stuff that's going on, but the fact that we are missing out on Black Adam being present really freaking sucks.
Yeah, I agree. I think with the first post-credit scene, I think that could have lent to at least some dialogue that could have been mentioned about we need somebody since the return of Black Adam. So that's what we got. Family out. This is so cool. I just had to share. I had not said this yet, but I wanted to get this. I'm in the car. On yesterday, when we were at the movie theater at AMC seeing Shazam Fury of the Gods, I tweeted out and tagged David F. Sandberg that, you know, it was the picture of me and the whole family in our Shazam shirts in front of the poster that we were going in for a family movie and we're really excited. He immediately liked my tweet. It was awesome. Today, I got a like from the official Warner Brothers Shazam account for our Twitter. That was awesome. Just really neat.
Part of the Press Play Podcast Network.
Look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane.
This is Jason J. Lewis, the voice of Superman on Justice League Action. This is Mark Wade, writer of Superman Birthright. You're listening to The Krypton Report.
Welcome to the Krypton Report podcast. I am your host, Tyler, the man of tomorrow. And with me on my right is the Superman of Black, the Superboy himself, Mr. Solomon Patrick.
What's up? What's up, guys?
And then we also have the great and powerful man in red. Not that man in red, or not the other man in red with the lightning bolt that we're going to talk about, but Superman red, Mr. James Cole.
Hey. Yeah, I am not Captain Every Power. Junior.
Captain Every Power Junior.
So we are going to talk Shazam Fury of the Gods. It is in theaters right now, and that's the focus of this episode. We are excited. I mean, I enjoyed the movie. I've only got to watch it once. I would like to go see it again, but we're going to talk about it.
I absolutely would like to go see it again.
I want to see it again, too. We all want to see the end. It was a good movie.
Well, too bad we live 3 hours apart to be able to see them.
Dang it!
Just the three of us, let's go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jania, we're leaving on a quick road trip. We'll be back in
We're going to go to a movie theater about an hour and a half away in between.
Yeah. I'll map that out later.
Yeah.
But we are going to talk about Shazam Fury of the Gods. Now, the first Shazam came out in 2019, and we love it. We've talked about it before.
Yeah,
and
it was good. It was awesome.
Just some quick kind of reminder-ness. The first Shazam, if we're looking at Rotten Tomatoes, had a 90% fresh meter and an 82% audience score. Okay. And here we are now in 2023.
Yeah.
4 years later. And this movie is one of those movies that's been done, but was just waiting on effects. And then was supposed to come out not in December, but they pushed it to March.
Yeah. And Aquaman is supposed to come out this month. But they pushed it to December. Why? Why?
I told you about effects, man. How they?
Why, you internet? Take this,
well,
your internet.
You know, if the effects on Aquaman look as good as the first Aquaman or better, or as good as some of these mythological Greek monsters that we're going to talk about, I'm good with them making sure they look good.
Yeah, as am I. That's kind of my thing, is I want it to look good. So quick cool thing. We went Thursday night.
Yeah, we did.
And Jania myself and Salman all had on Shazam shirts, and Selah had on a Flash shirt with her Shazam socks. And we got a picture in front of the poster, and we sat down in the theater, and Jania and Selah went to get to the bathroom, and I just simply went out and tweeted real fast and tagged David Sandberg in it, like just because poor Sandberg, he has COVID, so he was unable to be at the Shazam premiere. And within like a minute of sending that tweet, he liked it. And it was just like a thrilling thing to go into the film having like that kind of like, oh my gosh, David Sandberg knows we exist. Woohoo!
Yeah, you screenshot that and sent it to us real fast in the chat. I was like, oh, that's awesome.
I was like, girl. And then,
right.
And then the next day, the official Warner Brothers Twitter account for the movie liked our tweet as well. So that was pretty awesome too. Yeah. I was like, yes, Warner Brothers, like us.
I feel like I'm rapping right now. I don't know why.
But
so yes, like us, Warner Brothers.
I'm gonna get this out of the way.
Like us, please.
We enjoyed the film. We liked the film, but the film is not doing that great in theaters. It had a 30 million opening. We sat down in the theater and there was 2 other people, and Jania looks at me like, where is everybody? And then I want to say about maybe 10 more people came in, and it was a 6:15 Thursday night showing, and everyone enjoyed the movie, but it just was not busy. And I feel like there's a couple factors. I say one, they didn't really market this. They waited too long to start building the buzz. The trailers were not that great.
Yeah, here's something that was not in the movie that I wish that was in the movie.
What?
At the end of the first trailer, when he throws the car at the dragon, he's like, I just threw a truck at my dragon. I'm living my life. They cut that out.
You're right, they did. I totally forgot that.
Did he not say I love my life?
No,
yeah.
He did not say
wow.
that.
I didn't
to watch it. I didn't even know because like I was dealing
the little
with
things. The little things you miss.
High five, dude.
I knew it because I was just so mad when they cut that out.
I will say our whole we because of this film we do have a new family catchphrase, so we use it often now.
It's all about family. That's what it is.
We use it now a lot, so thank you, Shazam.
I know what you schemes, old lady, but I've watched all the
You need to thank
movies.
Dominic Toretto.
Action movies.
But and the other thing is,
and it's about all.
There's
about
not been the
family.
hype, but there's also no merchandise for this movie.
Yeah, that's dumb.
It kind of reminds me of X-Men First Class. X-Men First Class is arguably the best X-Men movie, but had very little marketing and no merchandise, and everyone forgot it kind of came out.
Yeah.
And the people like online who are like, oh, I'll just wait for HBO Max. And I'm like, well, you're killing the franchise and hurting the series with that attitude. And the other people who are like, well, it doesn't really matter now because James Gunn's going to reboot it. So, and that's not how you should look at a movie. It's through the lens of it's important to a larger universe. And it's just, it kind of breaks my heart because I thoroughly enjoy these movies. I laughed more at this movie than I've laughed at a comic book superhero movie in a long time. And it was just a really good, heartfelt, fun time.
Like here's one. Letter, no, don't write that.
Oh my gosh. That is probably the funniest part in the entire movie.
It's not. No. When Helen Mirren, I think that's
Helen Mirren?
Yeah. When she took up the paper and she's writing the messages, it says some buddy stuff at the end.
Yeah, the letter part is probably one of the funniest scenes. And that scene alone shows how amazing Helen Mirren as an actor is. Because she reads it with such straight face. So.
Helen Mirren is fantastic. I love her in just about everything.
I will. We're kind of bouncing all around in our review because I don't have it as fresh in my mind as I would have liked. And usually I try to see movies twice before we talk about them if I can, but just wasn't in the cards.
I was going to say, we're bouncing around a little bit, but we're also, like, I've been being vague because we haven't really discussed, like, it's just like, how do we like the movie, and then go into our spoilers.
How did you like the movie?
Oh, I haven't really.
Just James, you go. Give kind of like your spoiler list thoughts, and then we'll just jump into spoilers.
Okay. I mean, I really enjoyed the movie. I think it's really fun to take families to. And, I appreciate that they do like some of the scarier, like horror elements, Sandberg throws in there. And I think that they're done just enough. Like, they're scary, but like kids can see them. It's like Gremlins, you know? So I think that's really good. I love the cast. I mean, honestly, and this is kind of the same, I'm pretty sure if you go back and you listen to it, the same criticism I have about this movie, like I did the first one, is I just don't feel like Billy and like Asher Angel and Zachary Levi are the same person. You know what I mean? Because
I do know what you mean.
Well, let's just put it this way real quick. Like Zachary Levi is the lead. Unfortunately, Asher Angel has to kind of like be who Zachary Levi is going to be, whereas like Freddie Freeman, like Jack Dylan Grazer is the blueprint, and Adam Brody matches him to a T.
Yeah, that's a perfect example. And Adam Brody is great. I was thinking of that. And I got thinking in my head, and I wish this had been the way it's presented and done on film a little bit, is that Billy feels more like he can be himself as a child in the disguise of being the adult superhero. But when he's himself, he has this fear of everything he's dealt with where he doesn't allow himself to really be a kid.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I've looked at it a little bit because, I feel the exact same way. That is one of my biggest gripes is I don't feel that they match exactly. And
it's not taking away from either performance, honestly, for what they are given, what they do in the film, but they just feel a little not the same.
And especially with this film, this is a Levi film. Like, Asher Angel is barely in this movie.
100%, yeah.
I'm thinking of 2 scenes. I could be wrong. With Billy.
Yeah, he's playing the game. He walks with the family. He talks to
Freddy at lunch.
Freddy at lunch at school.
I forgot about that one.
He's in at least 4 scenes, maybe 5, like that I can remember specifically.
Well, you got those. The only one I could think of later is when he transforms back to Billy to
talk to Rosa.
Yeah,
and then, of course, at the tree. So, all right, we're going to jump into spoilers now. James liked it. We're good. I can't quote what I said on air when
I can just tell all this.
I was a little tipsy when you asked me what I thought of the movie when you text me. So my response was a little more fun. We're not going to throw that on here. It was a family show. But so we're jumping over the spoiler wall. Here we go. We like Shazam. If you haven't seen it, go see it. Support DC films. Support a good time. Support just, and I will say it's a movie that, I took Sayla, my 4-year-old, to see it. Jesus.
5 years old.
I was thinking,
4.
I know, but I was thinking you were 4 when we saw the first one, is what I was thinking, Solomon. And then Sayla's 5, seeing this one, about to turn 6 here in 2 weeks. So I got confused for a second. Okay, just let me be, okay? Stop fussing with that.
Okay.
But I listened to another podcast's review today, and one of the persons said their 7-year-old son was psyched to go see it, but he watched it and said, I don't think so for my 7-year-old. And I'm sitting there like, I took my 5-year-old and my 8-year-old. I took my 7-year-old last year to see the Batman. Am I a bad parent?
Well, maybe the Batman, but Like the movie does kind of deal with some mature themes and slows down a little bit in the second act and going into the third act. But so I could see where like maybe somebody would think for kids, because the rest of the movie I think is fine, but that maybe it's too long. Maybe it won't keep their attention at some point, and it'll be hard to watch it with them.
Maybe. I don't know.
In a theater.
You just got to know your kid. That's my thing. But here we go. Over the spoiler. In 3, 2, 1. We jumped. We're over the spoiler.
So they kept a really big spoiler under wraps because the only action figure they showed that they released was Zachary Levi's Shazam.
And then today they released Wonder Woman.
Yes. Because we do get a gal cameo in this movie. And I didn't mean to jump to the end. I
don't care.
It was in my head, and I kind of had to get it out before I forgot.
James, that was in my head too.
So
I think you read my mind.
Okay, so we're talking Wonder Woman. I love how there's the scene that you can tell it feels awkward. That it's Billy as Shazam sitting at dinner across from Wonder Woman, and you don't see her face. And they're kind of making fun of the Superman thing. And then when Wonder Woman turns around, it's the Wizard. And you find out it's a dream that Billy's having. And the Wizards, came to Billy in a dream. And and it was hilarious. and people were online like, I hate the way they're treating Wonder Woman in this. I'm like, it was a child's fantasy dream. Okay? Get over it. I'm like, and then, yes, and I will say that there are photos of behind the scenes. They did have a body double for Gal. And probably in that scene is when they used her. And Sandberg talked about, we did this. We shoot it for coverage and stuff like that, and for certain scenes. And then because of scheduling for Gal, and then we get the shots that we need when she shows up. He's like, Gal was there, but they used a body double for certain shots. He's like, that's just how we had to do it.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
it's really funny how that point specifically. It's really funny how people will get online and like use that and try and trash the film when every single movie that is made is made with shots like that.
Yeah,
when you see somebody's back so many times, it's not the person that they're standing across from.
Yeah, it just we also have to think when this movie was being shot. It was being shot like in 2021. So that was one, right after COVID. After the big shutdown, COVID. You know what I mean. So there was still stuff going on, and they had to do what they had to do. Yeah, it was nice. Now I'm gonna talk a little bit mythology real quick. I was thinking in theaters, once again, I apply this is post-crisis theory. So everything that was kind of talked about all the gods being killed in Wonder Woman kind of can fit, or it can kind of be smudged a little. Because the one thing is, Atlas was a Titan. He wasn't a god. And that's what's so interesting is when you get into Greek mythology, this movie's called Fury of the Gods and stuff like the daughters of Atlas technically would be like Titans or maybe demigods, depending on who the mother is. So it's really interesting when you look at Greek mythology and you start looking at things like that.
How about the dragon at the end? Is he?
I love the dragon was made of wood.
Yeah, yeah. Even when I was sitting next to my mom, my mom was just telling about how cool the dragon was. My mom was just telling me about it. And there she goes closing the door, and I just saw my mom. That's awesome. And
Solomon loves dragons, so he was so pumped.
I know, I love dragons. I know, like every dragon in movies are bad, which is It's like How You Train Your Dragon. Dragonheart, which is a sad movie.
I just want to throw this out here real quick. When we were watching the movie and the Shazam family showing up and Freddy was there, Solomon was like, "That's me." Solomon was like, "That's me." So
I'm Freddy.
Solomon's my own little Freddie Freeman right here.
Hey.
Right here. You know, Captain Everpower, and I'm Captain Everpower Jr. And
I like how he's talking to the lady, and he's like, "I'm Captain Everpower," and that's Captain Everybody Power Jr.
I was going to say, while we're on the Wonder Woman part, and then we'll move on. It was nice that it was Gal, and it was nice to hear the theme music kick in when, you know, and it was an appropriate part too. Like, you know, Billy had died, and the only way to recreate the magic is by a god, and there's no gods left except the demigod that is Wonder Woman.
Is she a demigod? What's a demigod?
Half human, half god. So her father is Zeus, and of course, you know, Shazam, Levi, shows, he's like, "Hey, you know, since, you know, just because I'm powered by the power of Zeus doesn't make us related or anything."
Yeah, right.
And then one of the best lines in the whole movie is by Rosa right there. And she goes, "What is with our boys liking older women?"
Yes.
Yeah, because Freddy has a love interest, the sister Anthea, played by Rachel Ziegler.
And Freddy has a crush on Wonder Woman. Oh, spoiler! My bad.
What I thought was interesting is, at first I thought they were going to keep her human.
Not Freddy.
You know,
yeah.
But then,
Billy.
And see what happens, but no, she retained her powers.
She got him back after Wonder Woman sparked the staff. Well, so with the staff, you know, that's where we open the movie, at a museum.
Yeah.
And they have the staff there, broken in half after Billy had broken it and apparently just left it behind.
Because
which makes sense. I mean,
true.
He's young and there's a lot going on. I could see where it could maybe slip his mind.
Yeah. Well, speaking of mind also, it's really funny how they point out a lot how he does not possess the wisdom of Solomon.
Oh, you mean the wisdom of Sauron? Dude, yeah. I laughed so hard.
The wisdom of Saruman, yeah.
Solomon!
I lost it.
I lost it because of my name.
He forgot that the wisdom, like the S stood for wisdom of Solomon. So when they kept saying Solomon, he was like, "Yeah!" And Say was like, "That's your name! That's your name!"
And I was like, well, this movie became my favorite movie because I have my name on it. Like probably like every year when I see a movie, I hear my name Solomon or Solomon or Solo.
Yeah, the wisdom part is not running through him.
Yeah.
What?
Hestia and Calypso get the staff and merge it. No, they get the staff and they use their powers. Calypso has the power of chaos, and that was pretty creepy how she whispered in, and then it just like spread. The way it spread, that was like very horror movie-esque. Yes, and then the way that they dusted everybody and turned them all to statues and smashed the guy.
I was kind of scared at that part. That part was kind of scary.
But it was thrilling.
Exactly.
I was like, this movie. I'm like, oh my god, really? Oh my. I'm like, this movie is kind of.
So I want to back up one beat real quick. I want to share this story because I just was thinking about it. Because I thought it was hilarious because we're talking about Solomon's name.
Hey.
So before, we always play a game when we go to the movies, like guess the trailers, right? Selah, of course, when we were guessing trailers, she goes, Flash. So we're in the theater, and the Flash trailer stands up. Selah's wearing her Flash shirt. She stands up and just rips open her jacket, right? And she's like, well, almost like she's like Supermania with the Flash, okay? And then we see the trailer for the Barbie movie, and Sayla goes, "I hate Barbie."
I hated
That's awesome.
it too.
I swear
You
she
know
would
what's
say
funny?
F Barbie if I'd let her. I swear.
I don't know, funny, whatever. But the Flash trailer came on while we were sitting there and watching it, and somebody in a seat in a row or two behind us or whatever was like, "Oh, that movie looks so terrible."
What?
Yeah, I was like, wow. Like I haven't heard that really. Like everything I've seen or heard for the most part was a lot of hype. People who were even kind of like down on the movie to begin with. Like the trailer got them more excited.
All I know is that if Sayla would have heard him, she would have smacked him. Now, let's jump back into Shazam. The scene that right after the one with Atlas, where the kids are at home, the daughters of Atlas, kids are at home, and we see that Freddy's listening to like a police scanner, basically, and they have to go outside. You know, and they're walking. That's in the trailer. They're walking, and they all yell Shazam. Sayla literally stood up and with them and jumped and was like, Shazam!
That's awesome. I thought it was really funny there. He's got like some sort of handyman, or the dad has some sort of handyman or something there, and he's like, I'm not crazy. The house keeps getting struck by lightning.
Yeah. He's like, I don't know what's going on. And they're like, well, they're all kind of...
I like how the kids, like, they hear it and they're just like,
If I have two complaints about this movie, all I'm going to say is that I love the movie, okay? Jania likes this one better than the first one.
Yes, I do too.
The only two complaints that I have about this movie, I feel like the kids were underserved and really cut out. And I feel like I didn't feel like Lucy Liu was that great in this movie.
Who's Lucy?
She played Calypso.
Some of her delivery was a little flat.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, it fell off. Those are my biggest two complaints about this film.
Which is interesting, though, because she's a good actress. I mean, sometimes she has a delivery like that, you know, but other times she has some pretty good ones. And that just didn't seem like, I don't know if she didn't have the emphasis of what she was trying to do going on there. But, you know, speaking of Calypso, it kind of turns out that she's like the ultimate bad.
Yeah.
Of the movie of the sisters.
I was explaining to Solomon how Hestia is more of an antagonist, while Calypso is not just an antagonist, she's more of the villain of the story. And I was explaining
my dad was talking about Puss in Boots.
Yeah. We watched Puss in Boots the other night too, and I'm just teaching Solomon about story, you know, and how it works. So we have the bridge scene, which I think was great. The bridge is collapsing, and the Shazam family, the Philly Fiascos or something? They call them
Fiascos.
Are flying in to save everybody, and probably one of my favorite scenes is the cameo by David Sandberg's wife. She's in her car, and she goes off. And
the songs.
Yeah, don't spoil my punchline. And
Tyler's like, I've had this song in my head for 3 days. Don't spoil it.
I have. And Shazam catches her while she's listening to "Holding Out for a Hero," and he's like, "Did I just save you to this song?" He's like, "Yes." I also want to throw this out there that we need a really good rock cover of that song done by Hailstorm, because all I can hear in my head passively is the idea of Lizzie Hale's voice singing that song. It would be epic. I don't think epic would even be the word for it.
Scream epic.
But, you know, they're working together, and we see that there's tension in the family, that everybody kind of wants to do their own thing, and Freddy's like holding on, Freddy wants to go off and do his own thing, but Billy keeps holding tighter. And
all or none.
Yeah. Freddy's trying to get girls to like him. That's what Freddy's doing.
Yeah, he is.
That's what Freddy's main thing that he's doing in the movie, which he kind of does at the end. Spoiler!
But he has a great scene where Thea is being attacked by the dragon. We learn that the dragon like brings out all your fear and sorrow, and Freddy is, you know, fighting to walk up next to her without his powers. Like Freddy spends a huge chunk of the film without his powers because we see that the daughters now. It made sense that, you know, the Titans, the last of the Titans or gods or whatever, were blocked from this realm by the wizards. And it was tied to the staff. And that when the staff was broken, it freed them to come back to our realm. That made sense. Yeah. But did it make sense to you, James, how the wizard was alive?
No, not at all. He said something about he couldn't remain on the earthly plane or something like that. And then he but the thing that I still didn't really get was how was he able to come back? If he couldn't remain on the earthly plane, how is he able to come back to the earthly plane and then be back and live? Because he shows up all styling and pimping in his nice suit and everything. Like, Jimon Hansu was looking sharp.
He's a great actor.
Yes, he is.
I agree. Like,
but that's the wizard, though. You know, the wizard is supposed to die, and he always continues to pop up.
So I would have liked if there had been a little bit more explanation on that. Maybe it's in a deleted scene.
Wait.
We have a great scene.
I know what happened.
Okay.
So, in the first movie, the wizard turned to dust, right?
Right.
Well, I think what happened is he didn't die. I think he teleported.
Okay, I'm with you.
He accidentally teleported to the sisters, and the sister put him in the cage. That's my theory.
You know what? It's a good one. I'll go with it. Can I just say that one of my favorite scenes is when we see the Rock of Eternity and they've basically decorated the sins.
Yes.
Yeah.
I loved it.
They've dressed them up. They've decorated them. They've painted them. That type of stuff. Yeah, it was really funny.
You know what's funny?
Like, they have it lit up. It says layer and everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's funny?
What?
When the mythological creature that flies around, that one,
Harpy?
a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
He actually attacked. Not that one. What? Okay. I'm trying to think, guys.
Okay.
I'm using my brain that works for NASA.
So I really enjoyed that. What did you think about Mary being portrayed by Grace on both sides?
What? Mary portrayed by her.
Because I have a working theory. I'll lay it on you after I hear your thoughts.
Well, I mean, my theory is more or less like she's grown. She's over, she's over 18. She's already becoming the woman she's supposed to be. She's more comfortable being herself. Like, it's like a psychological thing, because like when you change, it changes you to kind of like your idea of what your perfect specimen, your perfect godlike being would be like.
And see, I love your rationale, because I agree with you 100%, because I also look at what we learned in Black Adam, where Teth is still, quote unquote, the Rock, just like smaller. And then when he says Shazam, he gets bigger. Which I got thinking, what would be interesting is, say, if we ever did, praying, a Shazam 3, have Zach Levi with a little makeup and a little change portray CC Batson. And the idea that Billy has this kind of consciousness of looking subconsciously like his father. even though he doesn't know his father. Like, you could play into the psychology of that. And that's why when he says Shazam, he has a resemblance to his dad. So I don't know. I think it could be kind of cool, because I was thinking that, like, because part of the crutch of the story is this is, in film world, this is 2 years later.
Yeah.
Billy's going to turn 18 and age out of the foster care system. I feel like that could have been done more. We could have focused a little bit more on that. But like we said, Billy wasn't in it all the time, which was kind of sad, because that would have been really good to see a little bit more of Victor and Rosa. Because there's a line that drops quickly that doesn't make sense, because I don't feel like we built there, because you find out they bought the house.
Yeah.
And
the kids were surprised to find that out.
Yeah. And then I'm just thinking that, like, we have a great scene. I want to say this, where if you look at it in juxtaposition to the last film where you have Billy facing his mom and how he's treated, compared to this one where Billy actually calls Rosa mom and how she treats him.
Yeah, which is actually really cool, because it kind of juxtaposes an earlier scene where they leave and they say, bye mom, and he says, bye Rosa, and like, he's not there yet. But when they have an emotional scene at the end, he says, bye mom, or bye, I love you, mom.
Yes. And she's so, like, it's the scene where she breaks down and says, like, when you turn 18, you're not being kicked out. Like, and I just feel like we miss more of that heart in it. Because we find out Mary's still there. Mary has a job. She's going to college online, I think is what they said, really quickly.
I think that's what it was.
Because we're supposed to believe, basically, being the Shazam family was kind of, he's keeping everybody together. And, so nobody can leave and go out on their own. That's part of the story. But I would have liked to have seen more of, like, because she talks about contributing to the house and everything. So
that's what's in my head now.
Now, I know a part that Solomon liked.
Letter.
is when they write the letter to the daughters of Atlas to get Freddy back, and the sentient pen is writing literally everything they say. So even when they're talking to each other and making comments, like,
the pen is transcribing everything, not just like what they want to put down.
I need to watch that part of that movie.
So Solomon was cackling at it.
It was hilarious, because they did it again. They came back around with it, and it showed Steve writing everything, the pen writing everything that he's saying, and how ridiculous it is, because he's thinking out loud and Steve is just writing it all down.
I do like that we went to the library in the Rock of Eternity, and it was Pedro that found it, and we find out that Eugene is mapping out the doors in the Rock of Eternity. They are learning.
Yeah, Eugene's like, I'm mapping out the lair, and you don't tell me about this place.
So I do like that we do see they're still growing. One of the fun scenes is when they use they use the magic to open a door to the Rock of Eternity through a porta potty.
Yeah. And that's how they follow Hespera too. They're like, where did she go? They're checking different doors, and then they're like, right here, porta potty.
Also funny part was when what's her name? What's the girl that likes unicorns? What's her name?
Oh, Darla.
Darla was like unicorns, and Tigger was like, yeah, I like unicorns too. And
the unicorns were awesome.
Yes, they were. Taste the rainbow.
Taste the rainbow, mother.
Taste the rainbow, mother.
Sayla is such a more aggressive Darla. Like it's great.
She is Darla.
Well, speaking of Darla, she brought a kitten home and named it Tawny.
Yes, I caught it. Genia did not catch it. I was like, did you hear what she named the kitten? Genia's like, I was like, Tawny. And it took Genia. She's like, oh. I'm like,
Talkie
yeah.
Tawny, yeah.
And did you notice in the lair they have that big stuffed animal, the tiger was in the lair?
Yeah. I almost think that if they do a 3, that they might imbue Tawny with magic.
I think that'd be cool.
Like,
Or
actually bring, like, the family cat in, almost, to be Talkie Tawny.
I mean, you could do it. I think it's time.
Darla is like my sister because, first of all, Darla and Sayla both like unicorns. Second of all, Darla and Sayla both like cats and kittens
And purple.
and purple.
Good.
Third of all,
one of my favorite scenes.
they're both in kindergarten, and that's it.
Well, Darla's grown up since last movie, buddy. Is when Freddy meets Anne, and they're talking in the hallway, and he's walking her to class. He's like, Freddy! Freddy, my name's Freddy.
Yeah.
He's just like, Freddy!
Yeah. Jack Dylan Grazer definitely got, like, the most screen time out of the children.
Yeah.
100%.
Everybody likes him.
Well, he's very charismatic. Jack Dylan Grazer is a very good actor. He's been a very good child actor for a number of years now.
See, what I think's gonna happen in the third movie.
Well, we'll speculate later, buddy.
Dang it!
Just keep your thoughts, okay?
Okay.
We're bouncing all over the place.
But yeah, I mean, so Hestia and the sisters' goal is to find the seed of life, which is hidden at the Rock of Eternity. Turns out to be one of the golden apples from the Tree of Life.
And I mean, that was a little
from the God realm.
I will say it's a little bit of one of those like plot points, you know, like the bad guy wants to get caught so they can get something from the hero's lair.
Yeah.
So, but whatever, you know,
it works. It works really good this round because it's like so easy because the villain did it to the kids. You know what I mean? So for me, like it nails it because it's a trope, but it's so easy because she did it to kids. And then you know, it's not the Dark Knight where the Joker had this whole elaborate plan to get caught.
Or Khan in Star Trek, or Silva in.
I mean, name 1,000 different examples. You know what I mean? Like it's absolutely a trope, but I think it stands true because like it's such a trope. It's such an easy trope, but they did it to kids.
It would have been funny if they were like, "Dang it, she got us!" Like that one Batman movie with the Joker, because we know, you know, or "Dang it, she got us!" like that James Bond movie. Like, you know, if they had referenced something, because it would have made sense.
All right, Steven Trevor movie.
But you know, so they put a dome. So one of the things is I want to say this is they're using the staff and taking back the powers, and Freddy loses it, Eugene loses it. Then Freddy, Pedro. Then I'm trying to remember when Eugene loses it. Because Freddy, Pedro, then I think it's Darla.
I think it's Eugene and Darla at the same time, and then Mary when she's flying and starts falling, and Shazam has to catch her.
Yes, I knew Mary was the last one, and then they put a dome over Philadelphia, and it's just interesting, you know, because that's when we got a great scene of Levi. Like, Levi does a lot of acting with Freddy in this film. Levi does a lot of acting with Jack Dylan Grazer. And, you know, they have that scene where like all or none, and they're being pulled apart. And then the big climax is basically they realize that the dome doesn't let anything escape, and the staff pulls in the magic, so they decide they're going to overload the staff and basically make it like a bomb weapon. And that's when we have Shazam fighting the dragon.
Well,
and he throws the car at
it. I mean, so what happens?
And he's like, eat this, dragon.
Is Calypso goes rogue on their plan. They wanted the Tree of Life. They wanted to plant it and kind of rebuild the God realm, since it had been locked off. And Calypso decides that she is going to take the seed of life and plant it on Earth and destroy Earth and destroy, or at least humanity on Earth.
They talk about planting it in the Earth realm was like toxic, and it won't be the beauty that it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
So
and that's what life was birthed from the tree, and we got mythological monsters like the Chimera and the Harpy and the Minotaur and the Cyclops and the unicorns.
Yes.
The king of beasts.
Which was great when she's like, unicorns? And he's like, no, unicorns are not like you think. And of course, Darla.
They hate humanity.
Darla's the one that tames them, whips them into shape.
Gives them some Skittles. Skittles, because it's the closest thing to ambrosia they had.
Mm-hmm. And they're all riding it, and then I know what I was going to say. It was the scene where they all teleport into the house trying to escape the dragon, and Victor and Rosa are in bed, and all of a sudden they just come running in, and there's Pedro as Pedro, and I think the rest of them still have their powers at this point, don't they?
Yeah, they're all transformed still,
and they're like trying to convince them, and that's when it gets. They're trying to get them to go, and that's when he's like, "That's why lightning's always striking the house."
Let me show you. Shazam! Boom. You are the Philadelphia Fiascos. So the whole dome is over the city and everything, and they start having the fight with the dragon, and this is a really sweet Easter egg. And I actually heard about it before I saw it. Like, I haven't listened to anything about Shazam, so I haven't listened to any other shows yet. I will start listening to those other podcasts tomorrow, talking about their review. But I did hear that in that scene, the guy wearing the red shirt, that is the child from the old Shazam ISIS Hour.
Yes.
And that was
who played young Billy Batson, who says, "Go get him, Captain Marvel."
Yeah, because through the thing, there's people. He's like trying to find out what's my superhero name, and he's other people say other options and stuff through it. And at the end, of course, we have the wizard being like, Shazam.
Yeah, they still call him by like different YouTube names, like all the different power names, like
Power Boy.
Yeah, Power Boy and Mr. Sparkle Fingers and all of that. What was really interesting. So what do you think about that? You know, I love that he called him Captain Marvel. I thought that was great. It was a fantastic Easter egg, especially getting that character in. Or that actor.
Yeah. I thought it was cool. And I explained to Solomon like earlier, because he was asking me about like a little bit more. And I was just trying to explain to him like just how like, you know, his name was originally Captain Marvel and what happened over time and legal things that led to the name being bought and taken by Marvel. And then they just wanted to brand it and have their own, so they just went with Shazam.
Right. Well, so my question to you is about that. So do you think, because my idea behind it is, since his name is Shazam, like he can say his name and tell it to people with no intention of transforming and not be struck by lightning and transform unintentionally. But like to transform back and forth, like he would have to say it with the intention of transforming.
Yeah, that was my thing.
Not just the word.
Yeah, it has to be the intention. Move the damn cat. Yeah, it has to be the intention behind it. The cat just jumped up and like knocked over a bunch of my collectibles.
Yeah, a cat knocked off a coffee or a teacup off of the counter. Busted up that little mug today.
About to beat this cat.
Don't get PETA called on you now. I'm sorry, I heard another thing they were talking about their animals, and they said kind of the same thing. They were completely joking, and same as you.
Yeah, Sayla loves her cat. Just leave it, Simon. I'll fix everything, okay? It's just very frustrating. And so,
I'm back.
yeah, I always thought like it's weird, like just the name Captain Marvel period is kind of odd when the villain is Mighty Atom that gets turned to Black Adam. Makes a little bit more sense than Captain Marvel. So I don't know, but the Shazam saying it with intent is kind of always how I took it.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like when he says that he calls the power down or something. But
yeah. Well, they are able to make a deal with Hestia. They want to, after they find out that the staff is like absorbing the magic, everything that he's blasting at Calypso, and they want to take the staff and have Hestia shrink the dome just around the tree, so that way when they detonate the staff like a bomb, the only things that are vaporized is everything trapped inside the dome. Not the entire city or a large chunk of Philadelphia, like they use the Springfield Dome over Philly, but this way they shrunk it so that way there's no damage. And when it comes to a third act climactic battle, I loved the dragon, all the fighting, the blasting, him pulling the tail, everything, and then all the lightning shooting around the dome, looking like his globe, his little electric globe that explodes in his room. I thought that was pretty awesome. Little less like beam in the sky, so it wasn't like just like some like over the top bright crazy CGI thing, because it utilized like his powers and it utilized everything that was happening. I thought it was well done.
I mean, and Billy died. Like they buried him, at the Tree of Life, and it's because when the magic was restored by Wonder Woman, he came back to life. And he came back. So he died and he was Billy, and then when he came back, he was Shazam. So it's very interesting.
You think about the God power.
Yeah.
The God power of the gods.
Yeah. You're absolutely right, dude. Solomon gets it. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I'm sure if we could watch this movie one more time, we'd have a lot more. And of course, whenever this movie comes out, it'll probably be kind of like how we did Black Adam. Like, it'll come out and we'll shortly do a commentary on it, because I'll want to watch it with you and talk about it and enjoy it together.
Absolutely.
But I'm trying to think if there's any other high points. There's always going to be stuff we missed, but
yeah, I know where there's going to be stuff. So post-credit scenes.
Let's jump to the end and then go back.
Okay.
So the very end post-credit cutscene is Savannah in prison, and Mr. Mind comes back, and he says, "It's been 2 years."
That's sick.
And Savannah's like, "Tell me," and he's like, "I will when everything's ready.
I've got a couple more things to take care of.
I'm a caterpillar. I have to move so slow."
He's like, "I have no legs. I have no wings. I can only slither around, and it takes forever."
Like, here's a joke. My sister made me a peanut butter sandwich, and she said, and I wasn't hungry, I just awake on Sunday, and she's like, "Auntie's gonna get it," and that was like, hey, like, I'm an ant.
I was pretending like I was an ant running real fast because I'm like, they're so small, they take forever. So they're like, let's go, boys. It's like 2 weeks later. We're almost there to the sandwich.
That's tickling me.
But, you know, the big...
For an immortal worm slithering around, I mean, it doesn't really matter how long it takes to get anywhere, does it?
Right. Now, the mid-credit scene. Let's talk about the mid-credit scene. Now, I will say Sandberg has said that they filmed this and had this in the film back in September, October.
When Black Adam came out before the gun era.
Yes. So the scene is Economos and Harcourt walking to meet Shazam to recruit him. Just pull the cat, Solomon, off my shelf. Take her out. They come to recruit Shazam to join the Justice Society. But the good joke is, they're like, we want you to join the Justice. I'll do it. And he's like, I'll do it. Before they say society, he's like, wait, what? There's another team with Justice in it? Whichever one's got Wonder Woman. That's the one I want to be on.
Yeah.
And then he sits there and he's like, going on like, you know, we could think of something else, you know, other than Justice. He goes, ooh, the Avengers Society.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. I mean, yeah, it was. I really, I love the callback. You know, I don't know. Like we've talked about, I don't see that just because they're rebooting things, you know, here and there with this universe. I don't feel like all these movies mean nothing, you know? And I mean, I hope that something like this post-credit scene would mean something.
It's one of those things that's tricky because, you know, it was already in the film, but they chose to leave it in this film.
Yeah.
You know, and they said that they're like, oh, well, you know, technically it hasn't really tied into anybody else. Well, having Gal show up ties it in tighter to the already established continuity. So it does make it interesting. But then, like I've said to you, and I've said a lot, is there might be something that we don't know about yet that's going to happen. Some film, because, you know, Gunn said that in 2025 with his Superman film, right? 2025, right?
Yeah.
Superman Legacy, that's the start of his era. You know, so this is still technically the other continuity coming together. So, I mean, something could happen before the big reboot, you know, and like I've said before, is the Waller series and Peacemaker season 2 or whatever are probably going to be out in 2024 before the big, you know, reboot in 2025. So there might be just cleaning up some loose ends, and maybe there'll be something that we don't know about that's going to kind of help maybe pull some sort of culmination ending to all of this.
Yeah. It's really hard to say, like, you know, what's going to be kept around. Excuse me. I'm sorry. What's going to be kept around? You know, what storylines may make it through, what characters, actors.
I feel like a clean boot is the best, but I would like to see maybe a Justice Society movie or something that kind of lets the characters kind of shine one more time.
Well, that's kind of the thing, you know. With I think we discussed this a little bit before, like with comics, with like DC's reboots after different continuity changes or crises or crises or like Flashpoint or something. Like some characters seem to like carry on, you know.
And
Like,
Shazam
they
is
don't
one of
seem
them.
to be like rebooted. I mean,
If
the
you
biggest
read-
examples is like Batman and Green Lantern in the New 52.
Well, you look at Shazam in the New 52, and then he pops up during the Trinity War era. Then he just disappears. And then, like, Rebirth happens, and he's not even there. And then all of a sudden, we get that Shazam book by Jeff Johns, and it kind of just picks up after the New 52. Like, it feels like the sequel book to his New 52 run without missing a beat. And that's all about the magic lands and everything. So he's always kind of felt like he's been on the outs. And, you know, it wasn't until this past year they started that new Black Adam series, and they've really beefed up Black Adam's presence in the comics. I think building to trying to do a, more with him in comics, building to the movie and everything, like with Endless Winter, and then him joining the Justice League, and then what's happened recently with the death of the Justice League and everything. But before I forget to ask you, did you read the Shazam prequel comic on Ultra?
You know what? I forgot that was there. I forgot that came out. I did not read it before. I want to check. I'm gonna have to check it out.
It's good. It's got like little shorts, like with each member of the Shazam family, that kind of helps just give us some background of what happened in between. With the best is like Billy Shazam. His story kind of ends with him going to the pediatrician's office. And Solomon, he did it the other day. He's just sitting there. He goes, "I'm an idiot," and just starts doing the whole thing. I was
funny.
like,
I'm an idiot. There's literally a other guy's lightning bolt that is faster. That's fast. Besides,
like, I'm fast. He's way faster.
Aquaman's so manly and big. and I'm the only one that's trying to keep it together. You know I'm a pediatrician, right?
that's my boy there.
Yeah.
So all in all, that's a good, I think we hit all the major beats that we can come up with. I enjoyed it. I liked it. I'm interested how and if it'll tie together, if anything will ever get paid off. I am saddened by just I want to almost say like disrespect the movie's getting in theaters, by nobody going to see it and it not doing well at the box office. Because to me, it is one of the movies that should be experienced on the big screen. And it is something I think it's more accessible for families, compared to like, Ant-Man Quantumanium was good, but I like this better. Like, Ant-Man had humor, but this had heart still. And I know people always say I'm a DC bias, but whatever. But when this was over, I could have watched it again. Yeah, Quantumanium, not really. Like, I watched it. It was fun. We had a good time. The family.
Especially one Wakanda Forever.
But yeah, so that is Shazam: Fury of the Gods. Go look for it. I can't wait. If they release it early, like they've done before with movies on digital, I might just double dip with this one and buy the digital, and then buy the Blu-ray, and then if I do that, we'll give away our digital copy in a contest.
Awesome. Yeah, that sounds good. I mean, I didn't really plan on double dipping or anything, but I'm absolutely going to buy this. I love both of these Shazam movies. They're really fun. They're really great. They're hilarious. They're family friendly. They're fun. I love the little bits of horror that they have in them.
Yeah. But, I have something to say. In the movie, like, this mythological creature that can fly. Can you tell me the name of it again?
The harpy?
The heartbeat? Is the one that can fly?
Yep, harpy. Solomon's really excited to study Greek mythology now. I'll tell him to learn about it in school.
It flied and it grabbed the director and placed him down. You guys forgot about that part.
Yeah, I pointed out when Sandberg gets, attacked by the harpy. I was laughing. I pointed. I said, "That's the director." He's like, "Ah." Solomon is so much fun to go to the movies with now. Like, he's become my movie watching buddy.
Nice.
So, but all right.
Well, you know what? At least Shazam was still number one this weekend. About $65.5 million worldwide.
And you know what my thing is? It came out in an oversaturated month. For like this year is the year that, you know, they're building back up. Hollywood's releasing stuff. Theaters are open. You could have moved it one more month to April. And I think it would have done better because in April, all we have coming out.
Mario.
Yeah, we have Dungeons and Dragons the last weekend of March. Then we have Mario the next week. And then Renfield, which is a different market. But I think having this is something to like that in a month that's already packed with stuff. I mean,
there's something coming out like every weekend this month.
Yeah. It's like back to old hat, and people are being like, "Oh, well, I'll just wait for HBO Max." So,
well, you know, I mean, that is true. That is true that people would wait for HBO Max and stuff like that. But also, a lot of most other movies are going to streamers pretty quickly. Like, I have no doubt that Scream 6 is going to be on Paramount Plus within the next 3 months.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Scream 6 is probably part of the 45-day window thingy. I bet it'll be on Paramount Plus. What was the other one? Poo-poo. Paramount Plus, HBO,
Peacock, HBO
Peacock are the ones that. Those are the ones that still have, like, you'll see the 45-day window stuff pop up.
Plus, everything else has the digital first. So as soon as they're able to drop, people can purchase them digitally.
Yeah, or rent them digitally. So I just feel like...
Which is a bigger market that we don't get to hear how much they make.
Right. And that makes me upset because, you know, this movie deserves to be something better than what... It's refreshing more. Like... It's not playing down to the audience. It's playing with us. Now, okay, one thing I did want to say, this, and I'll leave it this. Do you feel that the adult representation of Billy is more like a child, like when we were kids, more than it is like a teenager now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's kind of plays into like our kind of like child fantasy.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I work with teenagers and I watch them. And I'm like, they're boring. Like, they don't want to do anything, and nothing really excites most of them, you know. So I'm just like, I couldn't see one of you as Shazam, but maybe that's the point.
Like, my sister watched videos on YouTube that are teenager doing dumb stuff.
It's true.
I mean, the only thing that makes sense with the character of Billy and Shazam as portrayed in the movies is that because of his trauma as Billy, he's very reserved, very withheld. And when he becomes Shazam with his powers and everything, he's much freer to express himself. And that's when everything, like all of his energy, all of his kid-like behavior comes out because he keeps it all in because of his trauma.
Dude, I can headcanon and fix anything. Just throw something out there and I'll fix it. That's what I do, man. That's what I do. But all right, we're going to bounce out of here. It's getting a little bit later. We did get to record a little bit earlier. Solomon's got to get to bed.
Go see Shazam, Fury of the Gods.
Because you know why? Because it's all about family. Family. Yeah. Forgot about them.
Look up in the sky.
We just want to say, if you've enjoyed this podcast, please check out other podcasts on the Press Play Podcast Network. Information $1 a month. You'll get extra special content that you don't get on the main show, like movie commentaries and whatever else comes out of our mouths. So check it out, patreon.com/Krypton. We're going to press pause and hear a few words from our other podcasts on Press Play Podcast Network.
Hello, Brooks here with the Books with Brooks monthly book club podcast. Here's how Books with Brooks works. We read one book a month, and then we talk about it. classics like Stephen King's The Shining, debut novels like We Are the Brennans by Tracy Lang, and tons of other compelling, life-changing stories, one book and 1 month at a time. So come read along with us and then listen in.
If you are like Tyler and James and can't get enough super talk, check out these other podcasts. Digging for Kryptonite, Supergirl Radio, The Last Sons of Krypton, The Superboy Legacy Podcast, All-Star Superfans, Superman the Animated Podcast, The Aspiring Kryptonians, Always Hold On to Smallville, The Geek of Steel, and Truth, Justice, and Hope.
Remember to check out Krypton Report on all social media platforms. Go to linktree.com/Krypton Report. You find all of our report.
This is Dan Jurgens, and if you want to have a good time, keep listening to the Krypton Report.